Hey, what's going on guys? My name is Matthew from MLC Tech and we're back with another news video on a gaming topic today. Today we're going to be discussing everybody's favourite game mechanic. Well, I say favourite, it's one that's absolutely disgusting, should be removed from every video game there is in my personal opinion. But today we're going to be talking about loot boxes, and now the German parliament has decided that they want to try and make more regulation around loot boxes, in particular giving every game with a loot box in an age rating of 18 plus. So let's jump straight into today's topic and discuss, should loot box mechanics be age restricted to 18? Let's jump straight into that. Now, loot boxes have been a mechanic that has become very hated amongst the gaming community, and for good reason, or as EA would like to call it, ethical surprise mechanics. Which, yeah, good one EA. I know you tried using weird language in the parliament, because I know politicians love, alternate language that tries to bend the rules, even though the meaning's just the same and you're trying to make it sound ethical and fun. But we know what you meant here. You can't get one over us. But loot boxes in premise are essentially more of a form of gambling in video games. For example, you are essentially paying in microtransactions to get this loot box, and you don't know quite what unlocks you're going to get in it. So it pretty much is a similar form of gambling, even though technically, yes, you can argue there's no cash alternative, it's all in-game stuff, so therefore it's not proper gambling, but really you're paying money for a random chance of unlocking in-game items. So yeah, it pretty much is gambling. You can't really hide the fact for a single second. Which is interesting to add that these form of microtransactions or loot boxes have already been banned in countries such as Belgium and Holland, and hopefully many more companies do follow the trend on this. But it appears the German parliament are making proposals to add further restrictions. Instead of just outright banning them, they want to try and bring the loot box mechanics in line with other gambling laws that are already in place, of giving games featuring such mechanics an 18 plus certification. So with this proposed law, risks from gambling like mechanics, although this proposal isn't in law, just to note, is expected this bill will be approved or passed very shortly, meaning it could come into law in Germany before this summer. In other words, games like FIFA, Fortnite, Overwatch might be already automatically classified as 18 plus as soon as this comes into place. So what do I think of this move? Well, it's also good to note that, such as the UK Parliament is also bringing similar levels of restrictions into these gaming mechanics as well. So adoption of restrictions on loot boxes is becoming much more widespread amongst lawmakers in different countries, which is personally a welcome move to see people finally take a stand and legally take a stand against these awful and, quite frankly, unfair practices in video games. I wish that loot boxes in general didn't exist at all. I think it's a terrible game mechanic which doesn't reward users for actually playing the game. It just rewards players who have money in their bank accounts and have disposable income to waste on video games. That's the only person you're really rewarding. Instead of actually rewarding the user for playing the games and giving them meaningful unlocks, it's just a random chance, essentially shortcut to try and get and win more stuff. But do I think that the move itself to classify games with microtransactions and loot boxes as 18 plus is going to make a difference? Well, yes and no, in all honesty. Yes, it's good to see that games such as, Fortnite, that has a very young user base, they're not going to be as tempted to, go out and, get their mum's or dad's credit card and just type it in and buy a bunch of loot boxes. So I can sort of see why that is. But at the same time, is age restricting going to actually limit the use of loot boxes and actually change it? Not so much, let's be real. You go onto a server of Call of Duty, and the amount of young kids playing Call of Duty and other games that are already rated 18 and plus, it's just not going to happen. The younger audience, are still going to get their hands and be able to play highly mature rated games. For example, I was playing Call of Duty before I was even a teenager. So, I mean, I'm not saying, oh no, don't be naughty kids, only play Call of Duty when you're 18, because yeah, it's not going to stop people from accessing loot boxes, especially under 18s, because let's be real, ask anyone who hasn't viewed or obtained games that are rated much higher for their age at the time. Let's be real. I was watching my brother play Call of Duty when I was 8 years old, and played it when I was 10. So yeah, I can't really judge or complain. But yeah, it's not going to stop people from getting hold of loot boxes. But it's good to see that this move is coming forward, and you know, lawmakers are taking a stance and finally saying no to loot boxes. Even though in the wider gaming industry, I've noticed there's been a big shift among gaming companies in general away from loot boxes due to the massive backlash from the gaming community as a whole. So the backlash from the gaming community, and also there being tighter restrictions and regulations around this mechanic, is really good to see, because it's just going to discourage game developers and global companies from encouraging this practice and incorporating it into games. And I'm quite happy to see games in general are moving away from this practice. So anyway guys, let me know what you think on microtransactions and loot boxes, and do you think that putting an age limit on games that are able to have loot boxes is a good idea and a good solution, or would you rather see, you know, loot boxes outright banned like in Holland and Belgium? Let me know in the comments down below. Anyway guys, I'm going to get on out to it. Thank you very much for watching, and subscribe if you'd like to see more content like this in the future, and I will see you on the next episode of MLC Tech. Goodbye.